Carol.
This is about the most ignorant stuff I done seen in here in a long time. You all are this is shameful.
If he wasn't the father, then yes, ma'am, I know.
Hold on, no. Because you done got on my nerves now. Because you got a smart mouth, but you're not smart enough to know when you're lying. Sitting up trying to pin a baby on a man. Hold on, I'm talking now. When you engage in activities that produces children without using protection, you can end up with a child by a man that has this response.
Miss Hanger is adamant that Mr. Babbitt is the father of her daughter, Chloe. She's brought him to court to get him to pay up for child support that she claims he's been neglecting. But Mr. Babbitt is not having any of it. He's convinced he's not the father and is demanding a DNA test to prove it.
Ms. Hanger, you claim the defendant has already been placed on child support for your daughter, Chloe, and therefore there is no reason to administer a paternity test.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've dragged him to court to order he pay the support he has been neglecting.
Miss Hanger and Mr. Babbitt go back and forth, each sticking to their side of the story. Miss Hanger is not holding back, calling Mr. Babbitt a spoiled, rotten, arrogant brat. But Mr. Babbitt isn't backing down either, insisting that he's not the father and that Chloe doesn't even look like him.
Mr. Babbitt, you petitioned the court to order a DNA test because you are 100% certain that you are not her child's father and claim to have proof to support your case.
Yes, Your Honor.
The court must decide if there is enough evidence to administer a paternity test. But first, Ms. Hanger, what has Mr. Babbitt done for your child?
He's done absolutely nothing for her.
Things take a wild turn when Judge Lauren Lake steps in to try and make sense of the chaos. She's not having any of the back and forth between Miss Hanger and Mr. Babbitt. Judge Lake is on a mission to get to the bottom of this paternity mess, and she's not holding back either.
It was to my restaurant, and it says you're supposed to be paying child support for Chloe Hanger. Didn't give a middle name, didn't give a social security number. On the birthday panel.
They're not going to give you her social security
Why,
number.
if I'm the father?
Ms. Hanger, I want to understand what he's saying because I want to understand how a grown man gets paperwork from a court that he doesn't honor. You felt like it was like something fraudulent?
Well, yeah, if I would have got a letter that had it like postmarking on it.
Miss Hanger reveals that Mr. Babbitt has already been placed on child support, but Mr. Babbitt claims he never received the paperwork. He argues that the documents were fraudulent and that he never got a fair chance to defend himself, but Judge Lake isn't buying it.
Just in case it was real, I figured it'd be filled out, so the
bottom line is you just decided to disregard
and wait
the
for the
paperwork,
actual something like this to happen.
Not name the father by default, and now you are responsible for child support.
They told me
because
son or daughter.
I'm sorry?
If it's my child, I will, but you're correct.
Well, no, you're responsible for it now because you were named
They gave him 30 days after he did not show up for this DNA test. They gave him 30 days to appeal it.
Judge Lake demands to see the paperwork that proves Mr. Babbitt is supposed to pay child support. Miss Hanger comes prepared with the evidence, but Mr. Babbitt is quick to dismiss it, claiming that he never received the proper notification. Judge Lake is not amused and is ready to set the record straight once and for all.
So the bottom line is you two were intimate.
Yes.
At some point.
Yes.
Did you use protection?
No, never.
All right, Mr. Babbitt, do you think at the time she was sleeping with you that she was also sleeping with someone else?
Yeah, the other roommate. Yeah, because he was super jealous when I first showed up there. I was
gonna tell me about
What made
this.
you believe he was sleeping with her?
He made a comment about how when she gets mad, walked around looking like a bulldog, and then the other
The courtroom is buzzing as Judge Lake grills Mr. Babbitt about his actions, or lack thereof, when it comes to the child support. She's not letting him off the hook that easily, and is determined to get to the bottom of this paternity mystery. The drama is reaching its peak, and Judge Lake is fuming.
No.
So you would be asleep, and then she would climb out of the bed and not come back for an hour?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes 30 or 40 minutes, but it's a long...
No.
And that's when you thought she was also with the roommate?
Yeah, because I start piecing together, I'm like, well, he said this, but that could have been a past relationship thing. Maybe he's just being jealous. But then her sneaking out, and it wasn't exactly sneaking out, but not coming back, it just kind of starts building some questionable situations
time I would leave.
As the case unfolds, it becomes clear that there is more to this story than meets the eye. Miss Hanger and Mr. Babbitt are at odds, and Judge Lake is caught in the middle, trying to unravel the truth.
I didn't even
believe
she was
I was pregnant.
All right.
I went to the doctor's appointment with her to get the ultrasound done. We're sitting there, they're doing this ultrasound, and the nurse is sitting there, okay, we're gonna find that heartbeat. And then the nurse is kind of going over her stomach.
It wasn't an ultrasound, it was a fetal Doppler. Two different things.
Well, anyway, it's supposed to detect at 6 weeks and you're 7.5, and the nurse told me no, so that was my medical advice.
The courtroom is silent as Judge Lake prepares to deliver her verdict. Miss Hanger and Mr. Babbitt are on edge, and the truth is about to be revealed.
Mr. Royce Babbitt, you are her father.
All I want is an apology, Royce.
Huh?
All I want is an apology for her.
I don't owe you any apology.
You owe me an apology for denying her.
Come on, dude.
I told you from day one.
Yeah, it's my child now, but it wasn't then. I mean, I could
It was
You've been your
till
child
then.
since conception.
All right.
Ms. Lopez claims that Mr. Carbajal pulled off a DNA testing scam to avoid taking responsibility for her kids. She's tired of holding down the fort solo and needs to prove he's the dad. On the other hand, Mr. Carbajal is adamant that he's not the father and accuses Ms. Lopez of ruining his life with her fraudulent claims.
Ms. Lopez, you are here today because you claim the defendant, Mr. Carbajal, allegedly perpetuated a DNA testing scam to try to deny paternity of your kids. You say you're tired of struggling daily to take care of your children alone, and you need to prove he's their biological father today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, let's set the scene. Mr. Carbajal and Ms. Lopez met on a social network, and things escalated pretty quickly. They had unprotected sex, and boom, Ms. Lopez finds out she's pregnant. But hold up, Mr. Carbajal wasn't exactly doing cartwheels of joy when he heard the news. He was in shock, claiming he didn't want a baby with someone he didn't love. Ouch.
How do we get to the point where you find out you're pregnant and there's a question regarding the paternity?
Your Honor, after I found out I was pregnant, he did not have anything to say. We talked later, and he was still in shock, telling me that he didn't want to have a baby with someone he did not love.
Hold on. So at that time, you told him you're pregnant.
Yes.
Fast forward, and Ms. Lopez gives birth to their daughter, Aliana. But here's where it gets spicy. Mr. Carbajal starts doubting the paternity because a picture on a cell phone looks like Aliana. I mean, come on, a picture. That's all it takes to throw doubt on being a dad. Judge Lake is gonna have a field day with this one.
So you claim Mr. Carbajal was the only person you were with
Yes, Your Honor.
during that time that she
Yes,
was
Your Honor.
conceived.
All she's doing this because she wants our money. She knows my
I don't
family.
care
she
about
she
money,
knows my
okay?
family has money, and she knows I don't work.
I don't care about
don't
money,
work,
Your
right?
Honor. I growing up, I did not have a father, and I did not want my daughter growing up without a father.
But wait, there's more. Mr. Carbajal even has Aliana's name tattooed on his arm. Talk about commitment, right? Yet he's still questioning if he's the father. Ms. Lopez is pouring her heart out, saying she didn't want her daughter growing up without a father. It's a real tearjerker, folks.
Okay, so all you got is a picture on a cell phone and you go, oh, this guy looks just like my niece. I don't think my brother's the father. What other doubt do you have? Did you witness? Did you hear about her sleeping with other people?
My family was when they were born, they didn't look nothing like us. My mom and my dad were saying
Your daughter did look
that
like you.
they had nothing related to us.
Now, let's shift gears to baby number 2, Noah. Mr. Carbajal claims he wasn't allowed to sign Noah's birth certificate, adding more fuel to the paternity fire. Ms. Lopez fires back, saying he wasn't there from the beginning. The drama is reaching peak levels, and we're just getting started.
I was there when Aliana was born, when she was being pulled out of my daughter. Second time around, he wasn't there either for the Noah's birth. I was there for Noah's birth. I was there for both babies.
Why could I be?
Why is it?
Because you
were
could
never
not-
Yeah, I was
around.
gonna
You
go. I
changed
was
your
going.
phone number.
What is it about this handsome young man that you doubt that he's your son?
I'm light skinned, Your Honor.
He looks just like
at
his
me.
grandpa.
Dad is dark.
Enter Mr. Carbajal's sister, Christina, who drops a bombshell about the family not seeing a resemblance between the kids and Mr. Carbajal. Oh boy, things are heating up in the courtroom. Ms. Lopez stands her ground, insisting that Mr. Carbajal is the father, but the doubts keep piling up.
I did not meet up with my ex until a month before I had my daughter. I had no sexual contact with my ex or anybody else but your brother, Christina.
That was too soon, though.
It was not
Yes,
too
it
soon.
was.
The time that you
No.
sent us
Yeah.
that picture, you were already pregnant with Noah.
Yes,
and
you
that
were.
guy looks exactly like Noah.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
As the tension mounts, Judge Lake steps in to bring order to the chaos. She's not having any of the back and forth between the two parties. And in another rare but welcome occurrence, Judge Lake goes off.
Need to identify which
All we gotta do
kids,
is swabbing, or just put the name of the father and
and
the kids.
you write that name
Yeah.
in.
The names are wrong on there. My daughter's name is spelled wrong.
It was the
I
kids.
do not know if
it was the kids.
It was the kids.
kids.
I was
My
not
mom
there.
was there. She knew what she
I
was
was
doing.
not
Writing their
there.
names on there?
You think my mom's
You
gonna
guys
spend
were
money
there.
on that?
I wasn't there.
No.
With emotions running high, Judge Lake dives deep into the case, dissecting every detail to uncover the truth. The stakes are high, and the tension is palpable as she navigates through the conflicting testimonies. It's a showdown for the ages.
I would have let you do it. Yes.
You would never.
I wanted to be there when you guys did it.
Gabriella told him,
She
if you
wouldn't
want
let
to
them-
do it, let's do it. Let's do the swap.
I told you I wanted
Well,
to
it
be
happened.
there.
It happened already. I'm sorry.
You know what? We have the results now from a laboratory conducted DNA test, and you sitting up there Still arguing about a home DNA test.
As the case reaches its climax, Judge Lake delivers her final verdict. The courtroom holds its breath as she reveals her decision. Let's find out the truth.
Mr. Carbajal, you are not
Thank you.
Noah's
Thank
father.
you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What do you gotta say? What do you gotta say for yourself? Why you been lying to me that they're my kids when they're not?
And you know my
Who you
mom
been
got really
sleeping with?
attached to them. You know how much that's gonna hurt my mom?
Yes, I do. Your mom cried in front of me.
Mr. Morris claims that he's the father of only one of Ms. Thorpe's twin daughters, London, and not the other, Paris. Can you believe that? Twins with two different dads? It's a rare occurrence, but as this court has taught us, rare and impossible are two very different things.
Mr. Morris, you're here because you say certain facts have come to light that make you believe that you fathered one of Miss Thorpe's twins and not the other. You claim a botched home DNA test separated you from your daughter London, and you intend to rectify that issue today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Morris is spilling the tea. He says that he had doubts about being the father of both twins after some certain circumstances came to light. But hold up, Ms. Thorpe is not having any of it. She's standing her ground, insisting that Mr. Morris fathered both Paris and London.
Both of your twins, Paris and London. And you say Mr. Morris's efforts to go behind your back blew up in his face, and you intend to clean up his mess today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Morris, what do you mean you're the father of one twin and not the other? Explain.
Exactly how it sounds. Originally, I was believed that both of them.
Ms. Thorpe drops a bombshell, revealing that she was seeing another guy when she was involved with Mr. Morris. Oh, the plot thickens. She explains that the timing lines up for Mr. Morris to be the father of both twins, but Mr. Morris is not convinced. He's on a mission to prove his paternity, even if it means causing a whole lot of drama.
I was seeing another guy at the time that me and Antoine was talking, but the time matched up to Antoine being the father of both of my kids. Before anything, we were friends, so I don't even understand why he's even putting me through this. I told Antoine that I wanted to be in a relationship with him, and he turned me down because he was still in love with the mother of his other child. So when that time happened, I got upset and I started messing with another guy.
Ms. Thorpe finds out she's pregnant and Mr. Morris is over the moon. He's buying baby gear left and right, preparing for the arrival of his twins. But then, out of the blue, Mr. Morris decides to take matters into his own hands and conducts a secret DNA test behind Ms. Thorpe's back.
I don't, not one bit, but I went back to the house without Imani's knowledge, and inside the test it was a thing where you get 3 samples, one for the father, one for the child, and one for the child's mother. But of course she didn't know, so I swabbed myself, Paris, and then I used the one for the mother on the other child.
Your Honor, he told me he don't even know which child he swabbed.
The results come back with a 0% probability of Mr. Morris being the father of one of the twins. Cue the gasps from the audience. Ms. Thorpe is blindsided when Mr. Morris texts her the results, and then goes on a social media rampage, airing their dirty laundry for all to see. The drama is at an all-time high, and so is Judge Lauren Lake's temper.
Miss Thorpe, so what happens after he gets these results back? He comes to you and tells you he did it?
No, Your Honor, I was at work at the time. He actually texted me and told me that the DNA test came back and that the twins were not his. At the time, I didn't respond automatically because, like I said, I was at work. So he ended up getting very upset and ended up posting it all over social media and telling everybody.
Judge Lake steps in, ready to lay down the law. She grills Mr. Morris and Ms. Thorpe, trying to get to the bottom of this paternity mess. But Judge Lake isn't one to back down, and she's determined to get to the truth, no matter what it takes.
Got it all over social media that these aren't my babies. I've done a DNA test and these aren't my babies, and you lying. That's basically what he's saying.
Yes, Your Honor.
When I called and said the results, I got a response that was like she knew. She had just said, when I said, I got a test done on the twins, they are not mine. And her response was, oh.
As the case unfolds, emotions run high. Ms. Thorpe is adamant that Mr. Morris is the father of both twins, while Mr. Morris stands by his claim that he's only the father of London. It's a classic, he said. She said situation, and Judge Lake is ready to bring down the hammer.
Say, you sure they're not yours? And I had got sent a picture of my youngest daughter now, and it was side by side with London. I feel like they look just alike. They the same age.
Oh, you had 2 women pregnant at the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you on team too much all the way around.
The courtroom is buzzing with anticipation as Judge Lake prepares to deliver her verdict. Will Mr. Morris be proven to be the father of both twins, or will Ms. Thorpe's claims be validated? The truth is finally about to come to light.
Mr. Morris, you are not the father. Miss Thorpe, somewhere inside of you, you knew this was a very real possibility. I can see your reaction. Who is their father?
The other guy I was talking to. When I told him I was pregnant, he stopped talking to me.
So, we've got Miss Sissom and her daughter Destiny are fuming. They're claiming that Anthony Taylor is the father of Destiny's 8-month-old son, Osiris. And on the other side, we have Ms. Riley, who is adamant that her son is not the father and demands a DNA test.
What stands before me is a case of babies having babies, teenagers. This is upsetting. With that said, Miss Sissom, you and your teenage daughter, Destiny, are here to prove that Anthony Taylor is the father of your daughter's 8-month-old son, Osiris. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Lauren Lake wastes no time as she dives into the nitty-gritty details. Apparently, Mrs. Sissom is 2,000% sure that Anthony is the father, and she's not holding back on the emotions. Grandma Marilyn is also in the mix, advocating for her grandson Osiris to have a father figure in his life.
Ms. Riley, you stand before me claiming that you are 100% positive your son is not the child's father and have insisted on a DNA test from the moment you heard Ms. Sissom was pregnant. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Things just took a wild turn. Turns out Destiny was sneaking around, telling her mom she was at a friend's house when she was actually getting cozy with Anthony. Mom Brenda is not having it, calling out Destiny for her sneaky behavior. It's a classic case of teenagers being teenagers, folks.
When I would call Destiny on her cell phone, she'll say she's at her friend's house. So that's what I was believing. She was sneaking at my house. She was coming over here lying, conniving, saying, I have a 14-year-old daughter at home. She was sneaking over there, hollering out she was coming over there to see my daughter.
The drama doesn't stop there, folks. Mom Marilyn is on fire, accusing Brenda of not keeping tabs on her daughter and letting the teenage romance blossom under her nose. It's a full-blown showdown between the moms, and Judge Lauren Lake is trying to keep the peace.
Your Honor, I see her walking with another guy. My son at school, this is before Destiny said anything about she was pregnant. Next thing you know, I find out that my son come telling me that she told him that she pregnant. How is that? You just came around 2 weeks ago, and he was messing with another girl at the time.
Destiny just spilled the beans about her secret rendezvous with Anthony, and Mom Marilyn is shooketh. She had no idea her daughter was getting down and dirty behind her back. It's a classic case of teenage rebellion meets baby mama drama, and we're here for every minute of it.
And now we're all here.
Yeah,
and sometimes that's what kids do. And I'm gonna keep it real. With all the phone and cell phone having we got and all of this communication, Miss Sissom, it ain't never a day in this world your daughter should be able to tell you spend the night over a friend's house. What friend? Who's the mother? Where's the number? I'm calling. Yes.
But wait, there's more. Anthony's mom isn't holding back either, claiming that Osiris is not her grandbaby and throwing some serious shade at Destiny and her family. As the truth unfolds, it's clear that everyone involved is just desperately trying to figure out who the real daddy is. Judge Lauren Lake isn't afraid to call out the chaos and get to the bottom of this baby daddy mystery.
Saying all this time Anthony is the father of this child, you've been consistent. Anthony's participated in the birth.
Yes, he has.
The day of the birth comes.
Because they put me at
hold on.
Yes, he has.
I'm getting to that part.
Okay.
So, Miss Riley, you and your daughter come up because you say, since they're saying it's Anthony's baby, this is my grandchild, let me go up there for the birth.
Right.
Destiny's dreams of a bright future are on the line as the truth about Osiris's paternity hangs in the balance. Will Anthony step up to the plate and be the father figure Osiris needs? Or will this teenage love triangle spiral into even more chaos?
Mr. Taylor, you are his father.
Yeah! I know. So you don't get to see him now. And I'm gonna keep taking care of him. And at the end of that, it is my grandson I'm still gonna take care of.
This is about the most ignorant stuff I done seen in here in a long time. Sit down. This is just ignorant.
So, we've got Ms. Renfro here, who is convinced that Mr. Toozy is the father of her 6-month-old son, Kendall. But hold on, Mr. Toozy is not having any of it. He's straight up denying paternity, claiming that the baby looks way too white to be his. This is already shaping up to be a wild ride.
Ms. Renfro, you claim you are 100% certain that the defendant is the father of your 6-month-old son, Kendall. You say Kendall was born with a serious medical condition and believe it was genetically passed down by the defendant. And that's why today's paternity results are critical. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Renfrow spills the tea, saying that Mr. Toozy has been MIA throughout her pregnancy and even after the baby was born. She's been reaching out to him, trying to get him involved, but he's been ghosting her like a pro. I mean, come on, Mr. Toozy, step up and take responsibility.
You believe Mr. Toozy is denying paternity?
He don't want to take financial responsibility. He hasn't been there. He wasn't there through my pregnancy. When I had the baby, he wasn't there. For his surgery, he wasn't there. I've contacted him. I tried to let him know, and it was still nothing. No response, no forget about, nothing.
So you're saying, Ms. Renfrow, that Mr. Toozy hasn't shown any care, concern about...
He's never even seen my son.
Mr. Toozy, on the other hand, is sticking to his guns, saying he's not the dad because the baby doesn't look like him. He even brings up some random text messages from Ms. Renfrow's exes as evidence. Dude, that's not how paternity works.
You discover you're pregnant.
Yes.
And at that point, you say Mr. Toozy just backed off.
Yeah, there was no contact after that. He ignored my calls, text messages, blocked me.
What happened the day you told him?
He didn't say nothing. He was like, well, who's the dad?
I had sent a few text messages from her random ex-boyfriends.
It wasn't
the
no
dudes
ex.
that she had sex with before.
But wait, it gets even juicier. Ms. Renfrow drops the bombshell that she had her ex sign the birth certificate because he's been more of a dad to Kendall than Mr. Toozy. Ouch, that's gotta sting.
My son deserves to know who his dad is because of the issues he has with his health, and he just needs to take responsibility for his child.
Were you intimate with anybody else during the window of time when Kendall was conceived?
No, Your Honor.
Are you sure of that?
Yes, I'm 100% sure. I know who my kids belong to. I don't just lay down with everybody. I don't sleep with everybody unprotected.
Now, here's where things take a serious turn. Kendall has a rare medical condition called Hirschsprung's disease, which Ms. Renfrow believes was genetically passed down by Mr. Toozy. She's pleading for him to step up and be there for their son's health issues.
If the baby was mine, it'd be a little more darker than what it is.
Because you made it up in your mind.
No,
really. I mean, you're going to testify about something. How do you know that?
just because, once again, multiple text messages.
But you still have no proof. Just because he's lied us.
You can't remember the text messages. You don't know what they say. You talking about the baby would have been a little bit browner. The baby isn't even fully developed. He only been on this earth for 6 months.
But Mr. Toozy isn't buying it, claiming he doesn't have any medical conditions and that the baby's health problems could come from anywhere in Ms. Renfrow's family. Oh boy, this is getting intense. Judge Lauren Lake is not having any of Mr. Toozy's excuses. She's laying down the law and demanding answers.
And what planet do you live on where condoms are 100% effective?
Well, when it's like
I have a lot of people that need to move there.
I don't know.
So are condoms 100% effective?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so the truth is, the real testimony is, you did have sex with someone else, at least during the window of time before Kendall was conceived.
It was like a month before.
As the DNA results are about to be revealed, the anticipation is killing us. Will Mr. Toozy be proven wrong, or will Ms. Renfrow finally get the answers she's been seeking? This is the moment of truth, folks.
Mr. Toozy, you are not the father.
Yes!
Oops.
Told you!
If he wasn't the father, then yes, ma'am, I know.
Hold on. No. Because you done got on my nerves now. Because you got a smart mouth, but you're not smart enough to know when you're lying. Sitting up trying to pin a baby on a man. Hold on, I'm talking now. Since all you can do is shrug your shoulders, stay silent.